What's up, everybody? Hey, this is Leslie at GoToKitchens.com. Oh my gosh. Seriously? I had an epic fail. I kind of felt like we were going to have a failure yesterday, but I confirmed it this morning. OMG. Hey, it's good to see you, Ellen. It's been quite a while since I've seen you. Hey, Marcy. I know. I know. Ew. Gross. Actually, it was kind of on purpose. I won't lie to you. I kind of had these beans fail on purpose because I wanted to give you guys an example of when beans go bad. So yes, but that's okay. We made up for it this morning. So here's Splat. Splat is in the kitchen with me today. This is a mini Splat. Isn't it adorable? Look how cute he is. So now I have a whole Splat. That's right. That's right. So now I have a whole Splat family. So yes, it's so funny. It's so funny. These beans, these beans are so stinky that, hey, it's good to see you. These beans are so stinky that oh, awesome. I love it, Mary. That's great. I love that. That I don't even want to take the wrapper off of them again because I was downstairs showering this morning and I was like, ew, I think I can still smell these beans. So yes. So I wanted to show you if you have a recipe, right? So today we're making Ranchero Beans. That's actually what this scope is about. But let's say that you have a recipe, right? And you have and you've sprouted these beans for this recipe and you're a meal planner like I am, you need to improvise. And so I'm going to show you guys today a way to improvise when you have a sprouting fail, but you still need to make your recipe. Because half of my beans that I sprouted for this recipe are absolutely okay. But the other half of the white beans are not. So it's Kat from Canada. Marcy, you're so funny. Yes, I perfected failing. They say that you have to perfect failing before you can. Oh, awesome. I love that. They are so good, right? Those cookies are ridiculous. Like Robin's asking me all the time. He's like, "So when are you gonna make those? When are you gonna make those cookies again?" That's so funny. See, yes, white beans are actually difficult. So yes. Oh, awesome. Okay, I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it yet. I totally can't wait to see it. So I'm totally gonna go check it out. Such a good recipe. I actually submitted that recipe to the Huffington Post because I thought it was that good, right? I know, right? So beans, these beans that are sprouted, these are red beans that are sprouted. This is what I sprouted for the weekend, right? I know. These smell like plants. This smells like plants. I'm going to show you my fail in just a second, right after I introduce myself. So let me introduce myself. I almost forgot. My name is Leslie. I have a website, GoToKitchens.com. I'm not wearing my apron, so I can't point to it. GoToKitchens.com. Right? I know, for sure, for sure. So, hey, Liam, it's good to see you. So, I know, so gross smelling. They smell like fish. I swear to you, they smell like fish. It's so crazy. So, and I actually did it on purpose because I wanted to show you guys what they look like. They get really slimy and weird, and I want to show you. So, anyway, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. So, I know this is your subject. So I have to tell you, okay, let me get through my introduction. Leslie, GoToKitchens.com, VIP section, VIP access, light bulb expert, tons of recipes, tons of blog posts. That's all you need to know. Go check it out, GoToKitchens.com. I do this broadcast every weekday at noon. Done. Okay, so Liam has been scoping sprouts. And all of a sudden, since Liam, my nerdy acupunk, when you see that come up, that's Liam. Everybody go follow him. There he is right there. Nerdy acupunk. Everybody go follow him. Liam, throw up some emojis there. So he's been scoping about sprouting beans and sprouting all kinds of things. And so you guys, which is his audience, there he is right there, the pandas. His audience is kind of my audience and vice versa because we scope about the same kind of topics. And all of a sudden I get all these emails and everybody's like, okay, Leslie, teach us how you sprout. And I was like, really? That's not a very sexy subject, but that's okay. We'll do that. That was Liam actually that said it's not. So anywho, so we're gonna sprout, we're gonna learn about sprouting, but today we're gonna make a recipe with the beans that we have actually sprouted. So let me first decode what happens when you have, I know, right? Let me decode what happens when you have bad beans go bad. And white beans are notorious for this, and this is why I wanted to show this to you guys. So I want you to be super careful with white beans in particular. So right down here in the corner, while I'm gonna go get my beans, right down here in the corner, if you would share out with your followers, I would greatly appreciate it. You can share on Facebook, Periscope, and on Twitter. So absolutely, anti-nutrients gone. We actually did a whole like why we sprout on Monday. So if you've missed that, I don't even, these smell so bad, just like right here. I'm like, ugh. So how do you know when your bean sprouts go bad? Because I can't tell you the good without the bad. Thank you guys for sharing out. Yes, that's right, less phytic acid. So what happens is, right? Uh-oh. Yes, thank you, Liam. Not working. That's great. So what happens is, oh, stinky town. They look kind of okay, except you can see, oh my goodness, they're so bad. See this one right here? When you touch them, they're slimy. So, oh my goodness. So, oh, that's bad news. I hate that. And maybe that's why my audience has been like, I have to cover them back up. They stink too bad. So you get like these little brownie, they look kind of slimy and they're brown. They're really separated. These do not, you are about a day on these. And after they start getting their little tiny sprout on big, great northern white beans, when they get their little tiny sprout, they're done. They're ready. Once you get to, once you get to these long sprouts like this, that is, you're probably going to have some mold. What they smell like, and this is going to be true for all beans mostly, when they, yeah, too much, absolutely. When they get to this point, they smell like dead fish sauce. They smell like fish sauce that has gone bad. They smell like a butt. They do, like a fish butt. They smell so bad. There is absolutely no way that you can mistake if these are bad. Like, you're not going to open this and go, I wonder if those are okay. And you're going to rinse them because you think maybe I can just rinse that slime off there, and they're still going to smell super stinky. So super, super stinky. So you're going to know, but I wanted to show you guys that this right here has actually gone, I'm not opening them back up. I'm sorry. They're so stinky. That right there, see how long that sprout is? That is too long. So once a white bean gets the little bitty tiny short tail, it is done. It is absolutely done. So I just wanted to show you guys, epic fail on my white beans, right? Yeah, so these are really a soak 12 hours. White beans are really a soak 12 hours, right? Rinse, leave in here dry with no water, covered with maybe more holes even, covered. And then by the next morning, you're going to have sprouts and you're done, right? So you're done at that point. Yes, little short tails are great. Long tails on some beans are absolutely fine. The beans that have these actually are pretty long on these red beans, and they're absolutely fine. And they smell fine. They didn't spoil. They actually took a day longer to sprout than these did. So white beans, just be super careful with, right? You use a colander? Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I've been using bowls for quite a while with holes in the saran wrap, and they sprout really quickly, but you just want to be super careful about this. All this information is going to be on my website by weekend. There's actually going to be a sprouting chart on there, and I'm going to do a little work. I've kind of nicked one and made it my own, and I'll give that person credit that I nicked it from, but I kind of took one and made it my own with some tips and tricks in there. So there's going to be kind of an above and beyond sprouting tips and tricks in there. That's all going to be on the website by weekend, so you have a good idea. So don't fear the white beans, but you just need to use a particular technique. I just wanted to show you that not all beans are created equal when you're sprouting, because everybody's like, oh, a bean's a bean, and it's really not. So yeah, there you go. They probably will not sprout in the fridge. I would leave them out on the counter. Yeah. Right? I know, it's so sexy. Beans are so hot. So what happens? I want to make ranchero beans, right? I want to make ranchero beans and I need a quick fix. And I need white beans and I need red beans. And my white beans are dead. My white beans have gone to the fish because they smell really fishy. It really does. It has a really strong fish odor. So those are nasty. So what do? It's that day and I need to have some beans. So I'm going to show you what I did. Yes, that's right. Pre-farting. That's hilarious, Liam. I love that. Pre-farting the beans, right? I know. It's so nasty smelling. By the way, Liam said notifications are not working. So if you have not shared out, if you don't mind sharing out so we can notify the rest of our people, that would be awesome. So thank you guys for doing that. So here's what happens. So this morning, I realized my beans were bad. Oh no, my beans are bad. So what do, right? Because I still need them for the recipe. I don't have a can in the pantry to use, so I need to improvise. So what I've done is I did a warm soak on these beans. So this is still the white bean, right? I did a warm soak on them. A warm soak is going to be water that comes out of the tap or however. I use purified water actually. And then you're going to put them on the stove on a super, super low heat and get your water warm. Turn off the heat and let them soak in that warm water. That's going to help expand the bean and get them ready for cooking. Then I had to do a next step, which is to actually boil these beans because these beans, although I'm going to use raw beans for this recipe, these beans will not cook as fast as my sprouted red beans. So I needed to prepare these for this. So I actually boiled them for about 45 minutes on a rolling boil. This will actually help. Now I'm not getting that nutrition benefit of the sprouted beans, but at least I can still use beans in this recipe. I can use the beans that I'm supposed to use. They're going to taste fine. I'm just not getting the benefit of the sprout. So that is how I improvised for this. And again, I totally was planning this out so that you guys could see and understand that if you have a fail in the kitchen, that it's not really a fail. There are ways around it. So and still eating whole real foods, not going out to McDonald's because your recipe didn't work out. So so these have been boiled. They're soft. You know, I mean, you can see here, I can dig my fingernails into them and break them open. That's what I want because it's the same texture as I'm getting with my sprouted red beans. They're the same exact texture. So that's kind of what you want to look for. If they have the same snap in them, then they will cook at the same pace. So I kind of pre-cooked those. So that's what happens when you have a fail. So let's make ranchero beans. Now that the stinky fish beans are covered up and away from me, way over there on my counter, we can start this. So this is a super, super, super simple recipe. Now you can do this with sprouted beans, you can do this with soaked beans, and you can do this with canned beans. If you do this with canned beans, I do not want you to rinse those beans before you put them in this pot because that is going to add to the dimension of that. But I'm going to show you to do it with a sprouted bean, a cooked bean, all right? So a pre-cooked bean and the other ingredients. So here we go. All right. Why'd they go fishy? Because they spoiled. So they have this rancid odor to them, right? No hairnet, no. So I'm not cooking in a restaurant. This is my own kitchen. I'm not cooking for you even. I'm cooking for me. And I don't wear hairnets when I do that. So, and plus they're ugly. Talk about not sexy. Oh my God, hairnets. I'm so glad I don't have to do that. I taught a class last night and I have to wear gloves and I'm like, thank God I don't have to wear a hairnet. That would be horrible. I wouldn't teach the class. No, I totally would, but I'd work that hairnet. Okay, sorry. All right, off topic. So somebody said hairnet and I freaked out. I was like, it's like something bad from my past or something. I've never worn a hairnet in my life. All right, so we're going to turn on our stove here. We're going to put it on a nice low heat here. I know. I can wear my new GT's hat. That's right. Absolutely. So this is just a throw everything in the pot and cook it kind of recipe, which is one of my favorites. And at the end of cooking, you're going to have these amazing beans. So we're just going to throw everything in the pot. This is one cup of soaked white Great Northern beans. So they've been soaked. They've been soaked and they have been pre-boiled, so parboiled before, because I want them to cook at the same rate as my sprouted beans. Okay, so those are going to go into the pot. There's still a little bit of water in there. That's absolutely perfectly fine. Then to that, we are going to add, this is 1 cup of sprouted red beans. So they have a nice sprout on them. They smell fresh and delicious in there. So they have a really nice sprout in there. So this is 1 cup of sprouted, you're going to be fine, of sprouted red beans. So chickpeas will do that too. So you need to be careful with your chickpeas when you're sprouting. So I have sprouted beans, red beans, and normally I would have sprouted white beans as well. But we have parboiled beans in there right now. Okay? So that's what's going in there. To that, we are adding, this is an Anaheim pepper that I've already pre-chopped because I'm not going to sit here and chop vegetables in front of you guys because it takes forever and you guys get bored and you leave. So this is 1 Anaheim pepper. You can do hotter peppers if you're so inclined. You could do red pepper. I like the Anaheim pepper. It has a little bit of heat, but not a lot. It adds a really, really nice flavor, and this is just a raw pepper. Over here, I just diced it really small. Over here, I have about 6 scallions. Get it? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. This is, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, to chop them. Yes, I actually was like, what's a diver? I was like, I know a lot. I don't know what that meant. So dicer, I get it now. I actually like to cut by hand. So it's, to me, I've been perfecting my knife skills. I've been working on my knife skills. So every chance that I get to slice and chop and all that, so I know, stupid autocorrect, then I do it for sure. So this is about 6 scallions with their greens. So chopped all the way through their greens. These were little tiny. These are just little green onions or scallions if you want to be fancy pants. And there's one on the floor now. And I'm going to leave it there. And so this is about 6 of those, and these are little tiny ones. So you can do as much or as little of this as you want. If you only want half of this green chili, absolutely fine. If you want to not do the onions and you want to do conventional onions, absolutely fine. But just make sure that you introduce these flavor profiles to this recipe. That is super important. So can't help you, Robin.
Is this new?
Yes. So all of that, sorry, my husband was just about to ask me a question. I'm like, I can't help you. You're going to have to bugger off for like 20 minutes. Bugger off. So those are going to go down in with my beans. And I'm just going to give them a stir because I have beans on a warming up bowl right here. So absolutely just going to give those a quick stir. Look how beautiful it is already. So pretty. So pretty. Okay, so a teaspoon each of these spices. Sorry, I'll try to, I can't. I'm not shading my eyes. I'm trying to shade the spices. So we have a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of paprika, and a teaspoon of garlic salt. I know, beautiful color, right? That's what I love about this. It's such a beautiful recipe. So a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of paprika, and a teaspoon of garlic salt. You can use garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic. If you're going to use fresh garlic, please saute it or roast it before you put it in there because it's going to overpower all the rest of the flavors if you use it raw. So you like that? I know, it's so cute. I love this kind of stuff. When I see stuff like this, I'm like, oh, I need to have that. That's beautiful. I know, it's so cute. A teaspoon. Yeah. A teaspoon, not a tablespoon. I do too. I like it too, Sherry. This one has a little bit of parsley in it, dried parsley. So I know. So all of these are just going to go right down into this. So right down in there. Then we have, this is where the heat is going to come from. This is half a teaspoon. This is half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is amazing for digestion. So using cayenne pepper, marrying it with beans or a lot of fiber like that is amazing for the digestion. So are the onions. They are actually going to aid the digestion of these beans. And so this is half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. That is what's going to add the punch, like the heat. So you want to be careful with the cayenne because it will overpower. So this is just a salt and pepper box. I keep my salt and pepper together in one beautiful harmonious place so I can do this. So I'm going to generously, these are raw beans, right? These are absolutely raw beans. And so I am going to generously salt and pepper this. You want a lot of salt and pepper because you want it to really pick up that flavor. The salt actually will punch up the bean flavor. It will punch up all the spices that you've already added. The pepper will add a little bit more heat and also help with the other heat items in there. The fresh pepper, the fresh onion, and the cayenne that we put in there. So absolutely, it would be a nice accent. The final ingredient, this is such an easy recipe. Well, besides water, the final ingredient is this. This is an organic tomato paste. This is, you're going to use this entire jar in those beans. This is going to give them a really nice, like, tomato-y kind of amazingness. That is just, it is so good. I spent quite a while perfecting this recipe. This is my own personal recipe. I wanted a recipe that mimicked the ranch style beans that I used to get in Texas. And I don't eat them anymore because I'm not going to eat them out of a can like that because they're totally processed and icky, but I still wanted to eat the beans. And so this is my fake out for ranch style beans in that black and orange. No, they're in a black can with white writing and some orange stuff in there. So this is what Baby Splat is perfect for. Yes, that's right. So all the flavors are going to marry up now with this type of recipe. So there you go. So incredibly yummy, so incredibly good for you. Make sure when you're buying tomato paste that you're buying organic. One of the most toxic things on the planet actually is tomatoes that are in a can that are not organic. So I like to buy them in a jar when I can find this tomato paste. They don't have it very often. I'm going to put some water in this. Excuse me just a second. And so I like to get it all out of there. And I put the lid back on it and give it a little shake and get all that tomato paste out of there. Splat, you go over there. You can just go right in there. So yeah, so I'm just giving this a little bit of a shake and getting all that tomato paste out of there and cleaning my jar at the same time. Tricks of the trade, tricks of the trade. So you can see, clean jar, ready for recycling or whatever you're gonna do with it. Ready for that. So my last ingredient is gonna be about 2 cups of water. So I'm going to add 2 cups of water in this. This is going to give us that saucy feeling, and it's going to help the beans cook as well. So I'm going to stir all this up. So good. So good. So I have a recipe on my website right now, and it's called farmhand soup. Farmhand soup uses a ranch bean, and it says in there, Ranchero Beans, and everybody's like, where do you get those? Everybody kind of freaked out because I got to get this off my fingers because they wanted to make, oh, stinky beans. Stinky beans are over there. Ick. So they wanted to make the soup and they couldn't find any Ranchero beans. Well, here is your homemade recipe for that particular recipe. So now if you can't find Ranchero beans, you can make your own and then make the farmhand soup because it's one of the big bases of that soup. So this is going to sit, I'm going to turn up the heat and bring it to a boil. And I'm going to put the lid on it. Put a lid on it, Leslie. So I have my lid on it. That is actually going to cook there for a couple of hours. So this is a great thing to make even in a crock pot. You could absolutely make these beans in a crock pot like this. Yes, you're welcome. I will put this recipe after they're done. I'll take some photos and get them on there. So this is, and I'll tie it to the farmhand soup. I will link them together so that you can see the farmhand soup and why I wanted to make a recipe like this so I could make the farmhand soup fresh. So, but this is something that you can make in a crock pot. So start it in the morning, put it on low, let it run all day. By the time you get home, you're going to have these amazing beans. It makes a huge pot of food. So if you're serving a crowd, it is absolutely, well, thank you. That's so sweet. If you're serving a crowd, you absolutely can make this and have this amazing pot of beans. If you're going to somebody's house and you're supposed to bring a potluck or something like that, or it's a barbecue, like this summer as we're coming up on barbecues, I am telling you, you're going to be the hit of the century with this recipe. They are so easy and so yummy, and you can throw all this in a pot, leave it there for a couple of hours, and bingo bongo, you have a meal. This is like a meal. Now think about maybe putting that over some rice or some quinoa, or serving it with like a really nice juicy grass-fed hamburger, putting it in the farmhand soup, or making other kinds of soups or other kinds of things. This is an amazing staple. It will absolutely freeze. You can put it in mason jars. Cauliflower rice, absolutely. So you could put this in mason jars, let it cool completely, put it in mason jars, stick it in the freezer and freeze it, and pull out the mason jar just like you would pull a can out of your out of your cupboard. Pull the mason jar out when you're ready to make dinner, set it out on the counter for the day, right? You can absolutely make bean dip. You are my hero. That is an amazing idea. Hey, Leslie, how are you? It's good to see you. So there you go. Super fast, super easy, yummy recipe. Good for you. Tons of fiber, tons of protein. I can't say enough about beans. So that's a great sprouted bean. What? That's amazing. You ferment your quinoa? Ah, I love it. We need to talk about that. An overnight soak. So these are actually sprouted. The red beans are sprouted, which means that they have like the little bean sprout coming out, which means that they're better for you in digestion. There's actually several reasons why you should sprout your beans. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. But there are several reasons you should sprout your beans. One is for digestion. It actually aids in the digestion. If you eat beans and they give you the wind, so you have gas or bloating when you normally eat beans, try sprouting them. It makes a huge difference. There are tons, beans have anti-nutrients in them, a phytic acid in them that is around its beautiful little shell. It is inside that little shell is where all the good stuff is. So you want to try to break that shell open. That happens a little bit in soaking, but it absolutely happens in sprouting. So the more you, not the more you sprout, but the instead of just soaking, if you sprout them, that will actually help reduce the phytic acid and help reduce the bloat and the gas. And it also breaks down the simple sugar, the complex sugars in the bean. So yes. Bye. Thanks for being here. So all great reasons. The other reason is that a bean is considered good. A bean is considered an acidic food in the body under normal circumstances. So just soaking and cooking, it's actually considered an acidic food. Most of us, especially us cancer survivors like myself, are trying to make sure that our bodies stay in an alkaline state. And so beans, when they're sprouted, actually change to an alkaline food in the alkaline food category as opposed to a acidic food. So, oh, good. Thank you. Thanks for watching replays. So thank you guys so much. So does anybody have any questions? I've been running my mouth here like a crazy person. So does anybody have any questions that I can help you with? Because we're not staying till those beans are done. Although I've been known to do 2-hour scopes. Not today. Thumbs up, Leslie. I know. So yes. Hey, Leslie, just so you know, Liam said that notifications are all screwed up today. So you need to be sure and tell your people when you do your broadcast to share out because notifications are bad. So just saying. If any of you are periscoping, I know Leslie periscopes on a regular basis. So I wanted to make sure and tell her that. So yes, Liam's passing that around. So just so you know, yeah. Notifications are no good today, apparently. No good. All right, you guys, no questions? Yes, you can absolutely ask a question about fermenting. I'll do my best to answer it. I just taught a class last night on fermenting. We made kombucha, and we talked about fermenting for like 2 hours last night. Our class is an hour long, and it went an hour longer because so many people. Oh, good. That's awesome. Thanks for letting me know that. Yeah. Thank you, Leslie. If you guys aren't following Leslie Gustafson there, please follow her. She is amazing. Her and her husband do scopes together, and then she does scopes. So why is fermenting good? So fermenting is amazing for you, and it's mostly because of the lots of questions about fermenting. Oh my gosh. So by the way, Leslie and her husband are sex and marriage therapist, and they are amazing, and I adore them. So please go, if you need that kind of work, they can help you in their Periscope. So please go check it out. And it is in a really beautiful way that they do it as well. So yeah. Okay, so why I adore you too. And congratulations on your shout out from Summit yesterday. That was amazing. So And they're smelling. Okay, so all ferments are going to smell. So let's go back to why, yes, kombucha tastes good. So let's go back to why do we ferment? So we are the only culture in almost the whole of the planet that does not have a staple fermented food in our diets. What's up with that? We are, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's just because you're awesome. So there's a difference in kimchi and sauerkraut. Absolutely. So fermenting is a breakdown of a food. So we are breaking down foods, and there's a couple of ways you can do it. In kombucha, we are actually fermenting a tea. So we're taking tea, we're taking a SCOBY, which is a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast, and we are fermenting the tea, and it's creating a probiotic. So a probiotic in your body is actually the good bacteria that goes around and helps eliminate the bad bacteria in the body. So it is extremely good for gut health. It is actually, and if you can get your gut health right, then you can get a lot of things right. Your skin, your hair, your everything, your eyes. Since I've been eating fermented food, my eyes have actually gotten better. I can see better. Your teeth, it just really think about your gut as your core, like it is, and that everything stems out from there. A lot of people think about their brain that way, like their brain is their core and everything stems from that. Your brain just runs things. Your gut actually helps proliferate things. I almost couldn't get it out. So getting things out and nutrients out in the body. So some common symptoms of bad gut health is going to be that you have a lot of bloating or gas, that you have constipation or diarrhea. There could be other things, that you have acne, that you have an autoimmune. Some of those things like that, it can really, really play to, there are tons of symptoms for bad gut health. So the best way to do it is to get yourself on a diet that promotes good gut health and see what changes, right? So kind of working from the back end forward, so getting in on the gut health stuff and you're welcome so much, and try to work it outwards and see what changes in there. I can promise you, when I started working on my gut health, a lot of things changed, a lot of things. I've struggled with acne, constipation, brittle nails, bloating, gas, water retention, achy joints, all of those things since my adult life, constipation my entire life, and acne my entire life. And since I started getting my gut health in line, everything started lining up. And so I don't struggle with constipation anymore. I don't struggle with acne anymore. My hair is doing great. I can see better. My fingernails grow like freaking wildfire. I'm like, really? I just cut these. So as a cook, I'm not a chef, but as a cook, I keep my fingernails pretty short because I'm constantly, in food and doing, and I don't want gunk underneath my fingernails, long fingernails. So I keep them cut. I'm like, really? I just cut these. And they just grow like wildfire. So my last checkup with my dentist, she was like, okay, what are you doing? Because your teeth are amazing right now. And I'm like, yes. So yes. So all of those things will start to line up. I can't say that it's helped me heal cancer, but I can tell you